Hi everyone, this is Kyle, and this was a interesting new release that came out here over the weekend. Godzilla Minus One. Now this was a Japanese movie, and here in the United States it released over the weekend, December 1st. Overall, I've heard good things about this movie. It's generally everything that you like about Godzilla if you're a big Godzilla person. Now, if you were to just look at a glance at its box office numbers over opening weekend, you'd say, $34 million worldwide. You'd probably say that's not a big number at all. However, again, this is a Japanese movie that's been distributed and it's released here in the United States and worldwide. I myself, I haven't seen a whole lot of commercials or anything like that for this movie on TV. It doesn't seem like they marketed it as heavily as, say, Disney or Marvel did for the Marvels, or didn't seem like it was marketed as much as, say, The Hunger Games or Wish, or, those kinds of big blockbuster type of movies coming from Disney or any other major Hollywood studio here in the West. But the other real big thing about this movie, folks, I did just a general search on a search engine, because whenever you try to look up box office numbers, you want to know, okay, what's the production budget? And when I look, everyone's saying that it was $15 million. I mean, that is one small budget compared to anything coming out of Hollywood today. Again, $15 million. Now, granted, I am assuming that this is US dollars. It looks like they're measuring it in US dollars. And this movie was made in Japan. Japan has, different currency, the yen, and I know that one US dollar is worth a lot more than one Japanese yen. So how does that all factor into this? I don't know. You'd have to talk to an expert economist on this sort of thing. But again, if this is $15 million, folks, the Marvels, which just came out, had a budget of $275 million. Godzilla Minus One, $15 million. That is 1/18th the size of the Marvels budget. Disney's A Little Mermaid movie, we were hearing that was a $300 million budget. So this Godzilla movie was 1/20th the size of the Little Mermaid production budget. Disney's Snow White live action adaptation that they're going to be making, coming out in 2025. They delayed it a year. It was supposed to be coming out this March, but still it'll be a year from this March. We're hearing that movie had a budget of $330 million. That is 22 times the size of Godzilla Minus One's budget. 22 times. Now when you crunch box office numbers, the general rule of thumb is you have to make 2.5 times whatever your production budget is in order to break even, in order to start turning a profit. If your movie's production budget is something like $200-300 million, like a lot of Disney movies that are being made today, I mean, you do the math on that, depending on what the exact number is. You're talking you got to be making definitely at least $500 million just to break even. And if your movie's a higher budget, you got to be making maybe as much as like $750 million just to turn a profit. This gave a movie like the Hunger Games prequel a big advantage over a movie like the Marvels, because while the Marvels production budget was $275 million, the Hunger Games Battle of the Songbirds and Snakes, that budget was only $100 million. So the fact that that budget was less than half of what the Marvels was, that gave the Hunger Games a much higher chance of being able to break even at the box office, which it looks like it's going to be doing. But this movie right here, Godzilla Minus One, $15 million budget, if you multiply 15 by 2.5, that gives you $37.5 million. Now granted, I don't know how much money they spent on marketing or anything like that. I myself, I haven't seen a whole lot of advertising for the Godzilla movie, so it doesn't seem like they spent a whole lot of time marketing it. I don't know though. But if you do the 2.5 times rule for this $15 million budget, that's only $37.5 million to break even for this movie. And it's currently worldwide at $34 million. 34.5 after its opening weekend. Again, that's not a huge number. I mean, the Marvels and the Hunger Games, they both had roughly $100 million opening weekends internationally. However, this movie doesn't need to make nearly as much money as the Marvels or the Hunger Games or those movies in order to break even. And folks, I want to show you a couple pictures of Godzilla in this movie. I mean, you may have already seen them, but I mean, here's one picture of Godzilla. And now I'll go to IMDb here. Here's another one right here. And then here's another one. I mean, I'm not going to go through and show you all of them, but I mean, just visually speaking, just take a look at this right here. And remember, $15 million budget. And the question I'd like to pose to you is, visually speaking, how good does this look compared to a lot of Marvel movies and a lot of Disney movies coming out today? Movies that have, a good 10-15 times the budget that Godzilla does. Again, this is just a still image. I'm just showing you a couple of still images, but would you say that this looks better than some of the visuals or some of the graphics in Marvel movies or any other Disney animated movies, nearly all of which have budgets that are, I don't know, a good $200-300 million. I don't know, I'll let you decide that for yourself. Me, I don't know, I might go and see this movie at some point. I mean, I do want to do some movie reviews on here on YouTube. It's just that vast majority of the stuff that's coming out today is just, to be very blunt, terrible. You know, people in Hollywood and Disney in particular, they are pushing some messages, some current day type of messages into their content. And me, if I see that they're clearly doing that kind of stuff, I prefer not to give them my money. And so because of that, I don't really end up watching a whole lot of movies in theaters. The last movie I saw was the Super Mario Brothers movie earlier this year. Overall, I thought it was good. It was definitely a family-friendly movie. Something you could take your kids to go see. But yeah, I mean, I do want to do a few occasional movie reviews on this channel, so I don't know, maybe I'll go and see this movie if I get time. If any of you have seen Godzilla Minus One, let me know what you think of this movie. I don't know, you let me know. I might go give this movie a try. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you consider hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you all very much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Take care until then.